let's play a game called What's at Your Organ Console? You ready? I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So post your own video. This is the organ console I play. So it's a 2 manual. It used to be a Wix. Some of you might be able to tell that it used to be a Wix, but it's a 1982 Berghaus, and it reused the Wix cabinetry. It is 30 ranks, all told, 25 registers. And let's go on a tour. First of all, the most important thing here is the fan. That keeps some air moving across my face. Otherwise, there is very little air moving up here. This is an atomic clock. We ring our bells based off of that. There's another one of those down in the usher's closet, and that is where the deacons will flip it on 2 minutes before the service, and our bell, which lives, oh, can you see it? It lives behind that hatch right up there in the steeple, and that rings for 2 minutes before the service. I've got another identical bell controller right here. There's our computer that we record our services with as a digital copy. We do record straight to CD downstairs, but we also record up here on this computer so I can make MP3s and hand them out as needed. Here's my stack of organ music to work on. We've got the Büchlein. Oh, my German's horrible today. And underneath that are 2 volumes of the complete works of Bach. It's the Wiener Schweitzer edition. And I've got the works from the youthful period. I'm working through a few of those. I'm not an organ tuner and I don't have proper tuning irons, but those are what I use occasionally to get pipes back into tune. I've got my furniture polish there for my bench, so I can slide on and off easily. There's our fairly old interface for our sound system to work with the little Dell Optiplex computer that's hiding down there. So this filing cabinet, this is actually all the organ music of our previous legend of an organist. He's got a couple of different editions of the complete works of Bach. He's got Franck, he's got Brahms, he's got just about everything. I think he might even have a full set of Paul Mons in there, not sure. But anyway, that is his collection, and as he's retired and does not play anymore because of complications of a stroke, I basically get to use anything that I find in there that's of value. I do keep a small stack of go-to resources right here. So let's go through this. I've got the Hymn Prelude Library from Concordia Publishing House that's aligned with Lutheran Service Book. That is a fantastic set. A lot of stuff that takes not a lot of time to prepare. I've got some Langlais sitting right here. I've got some Mons. I've got some Bender in here. We still use the Paul Bunges Service Propers Noted, and that comes in 2 volumes for the organist. I have another copy here. That's what the choir gets, whether they're the children's choir or the adult choir. I've got my stack of Bunges books right over there. And I tell the kids the bottom of the book goes to the back of the pew, so they all put them up the same way. And I've got a little sign with a picture of the cover up there on the music stand saying, bring a copy of Bunges to rehearsal. So when they file in here into their places, they can each know what they're going to do. By the way, I have this marker over here. That's for my marker board down there, which I put up on another music stand and face toward the choir, and that's our rehearsal order. Okay, what else do I have here? I love this. I am a huge Healy Willen fan. So these are the 4-part arrangements within an Anglican tradition, even though we're Lutherans here. Lutherans who, by the way, use, oh, where'd it go? Oh, it's right in front of me. The Lutheran hymnal from 1941. It's not a perfect hymnal by any means, but we have retained it, and we've got a whole church full of copies that were purchased brand new 2 years ago, maybe 3. So there we go. Look at all of them. Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, so I have a complete set of the Parish Organist up here too. Only a couple of the volumes did I ever buy new. I bought this one new right when they were changing the price of it. But anyway, back to TLH resources. So introits from Willen in 4-part harmony for choir. And then I can squeeze that up here. Then we have our unison introits right there, which are great for the kids. They're a little more Gregorian sounding, a little more plain chanty. There's my parish organist set. And they're not in any particular order. I just grab them by color because I know what season goes with what. And there's the part 12 one that is, that's the one that goes with the hymnal for 1940. And number 11 is likewise, had some other English hymnal classics, you could say. Who doesn't have a copy of the Not Bach Little 8? Got some Paul Manns. I've got the church choir book. That's good if you ever need to play The Lord Bless You and Keep You by Peter Lutkin. I love this book. So Henry Garricky put this out a while ago. Some very good Luther hymns for organ. And then he did the same thing with Paul Gerhardt hymns, or at least the tunes that are associated with Paul Gerhardt. I don't know that Paul Gerhardt actually wrote any tunes, but there you go. That's a match set. And then there's the Treasures of the Singing Church, some Lutheran hymns that are maybe not all by Luther, and that's a 2-volume set, also edited by Henry Garricky. I use that a lot. Chris Lemker has a good setting of Salvation Unto Us Has Come in there. And I think Higher Things has made hay with a recording of that. So way to go, Chris Lemker. I'm working on some Buxtehude every once in a while. I want to get his Magnificat learned. So this is another set. Paul Thomas, there we go. That's Ed Clammer, for those of you who don't know. Paul Thomas was a pen name for Ed Clammer. And the church organist, this has preludes and such in just about every key that you'd find in a hymnal, so you can make intonations work. Okay. Oh, and who can forget? This is every Lutheran organist's best friend. 80 chorale preludes, the Keller book. I had the spine sawn off of mine and spiral bound. Unfortunately, my cover ripped off at one point when I was actually putting it back into my bookshelf, and I just keep it there so it protects everything else that's behind it. That was an eBay find, and I had the cover sawn off, and best decision I ever made with one of my books. If I don't use that at least twice a week, I'm not doing my job. On the rack, here's what I have. I have the Lutheran Hymnal, 1941. This is the edition that I play from. I bought this well before I was playing at a TLH congregation. I don't play the liturgy out of this. I have the edition from CPH that does have that. So little spiral bound thing. There was another copy of that here before I got here, but I ended up buying my own just so I could have my own markings in it. We use every service in this, every single one. Page 46, page 50. Page 50 is our Thursday service for school chapel when all the school kids come in and we hear the lessons from the catechism. So here's my marker for page 15. Here's my marker for page 5, order of matins. I actually don't have a marker for page 5 because that's just barely inside the front cover. And I've got my marker for page 50 right here. I typically keep the copy of the bulletin here. So here's Quinquagesima Sunday. And even if I have a Wednesday service that I play, like we just had Ash Wednesday 2 days ago, this is the first Friday in Lent, I still keep this at the console because what do we have? We have the hymns for next week as a handy reference that I don't have to pull it up on my phone or on the computer. I've got full internet access on this, so that's good. Here we come. 262, A Mighty Fortress Is Our God, is going to be the hymn of the day for Imbocabit Sunday. Okay, and there's our Order of the Divine service. Those were the hymns from Sunday. All right, so that lives there. I usually, during the service, I keep this hymnal here and I have it flipped open to the next thing. Some of these tabs don't matter much, but the first yellow tab here is always the introit. It's always the introit, which I reference because when I have to play the glory be to the Father and to the Son from right there, I know when to start. And look at that. Oh, my order of service almost landed in purgatory, the area underneath the pedals. I have been organist here for coming up on 5 years, and I have only dropped a pencil into the pedals twice. Watch, I'm gonna drop 10 of them on Sunday, if not before. Maybe even this afternoon during music class. I reference the hymn list, making sure that the hymns on the board correspond to what's right there. Of course, 267 through 668 are in the back half, and the other half is 1 through 266. 288 is marked because we always sing that on Thursdays for our catechetical service for chapel. And what else do I have marked? Oh, I have my tune indexes, and I have my first line indexes marked as well. Now, over here, I have 2 other friends. If we have a hymn in TLH that we sing to one tune, and I want to keep that idea going, and we have people who have been to other churches where they sing it to different tunes, what I may opt to do is reference those tunes from Lutheran Worship from 1982 or Lutheran Service Book from 2006. And they're perched perilously there on the rail. This is the bat phone. It is original equipment in the church. So it is a closed line. You pick it up and you can buzz the usher's closet or you can buzz the sacristy, and they'll pick it up and you can talk to somebody who's still there, and it still works exactly as it was intended to, except it's got a little bit of a hum on the line. I think it still might even run on vacuum tubes. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Okay, what else do I have over here? We have the wireless receivers for the pastors there. We have the bell control, which I seldom use, but when we ring the bell for the Lord's Prayer, that's my job. Our Father who art in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, forever and ever. Amen. Down here, I've got my combination setter. It's not a thumb piston on this instrument, and I have general 6 through 8 right here. There's general 9, and those basically double what's there. General 9 does not have a piston. The general cancel is actually general 10, believe it or not, and we just write it as blank, so that is programmable. So 5 divisionals for the grate, 5 divisionals for the swell, total of 5 divisionals for the pedal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is right here. Swell shoe right there, the no touchy crescendo over here. All the mechanics of that are original to the Wicks. This is fun too. I've got the Zimbelstern control, but I've got the Zimbelstern locked out. We've got a Zimbelstern ready switch right here, so that if, oh golly, here's the fun bit. This organ will have a problem if the power goes out. The memory will scramble and it'll write garbage to all of the different pistons, including general cancel. So if you have that problem, you have to do a sweep under everything to turn everything off. But we've got the Zimbelstern right there. So here's a little taste of that. I'm gonna hit the switch. Yeah, that's not a sound we're gonna hear during Lent, but we have that there, and that can turn on, and that's when the organ starts making noise that we don't want. So I have that on a reversible there that clicks that on and off. It's a lovely Zimbelstern. It's a lock-off, 8 bells, tuned to an A major 7 chord with E in the bass. It matches up perfectly with it matches up perfectly by design with the Gloria Patri from the Order of Matins in TLH. Let's go through this. So we have the music for the liturgy. I never play out of this. This is a used copy that I got from Pastor Andrew Ratcliffe when he was cleaning out his stash of books. And that was a spare copy he had. But all the little intonations that I play before each of the responses, where it's just cold, the pastor has to come up with a pitch on his own rather than just giving him a straight up A. I give him the actual introduction out of here, and I do that. But we still have the pastor chant most of the pastoral chant matins for our services, but page 15, we don't chant for some reason. Congregation sings, pastor speaks. Oh well. Oh, hey, look over there. There's the great division. There's the pedal division. And the great division is this keyboard here. Pedal division, of course, is these guys here. Swell division is back here. You got to be careful with this swell division because you can't leave the swell shades open all the way. Otherwise, when the organ starts up, what happens is the shutters will jam open all the way and then they can't close. And then you have to pop out one of those shutters and reach way up in the corner, pull the fuse for the motor, and then spin the spindle back and to close it so it nearly closes on your arm. And there's a lot of four-letter words that are not appropriate for the house of the Lord that get uttered along the way. So we have to close the swell box to 60% or less before turning off the blower. This was a great idea that never worked. It's a variable swell and great tremulant. Those are disabled now. The cards never worked the way they should have. So we have a tremulant here. We have a tremulant here. We have a tremulant prepared for here, but it actually does not work. By the way, here's our stop list. There's our pedal division. Hey, what's wrong with this picture? Shouldn't that be the great division? It's not. Should be, maybe, but the swell is right there. And then here's the great. And there we go. Here's the last thing I'm going to show you. These are our chapel sheets. So these change by season. So we started the Lent ones today. We use these on Fridays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. And we use Wednesday, the order of matins for chapel. Here are all of the hymn inserts that I've collected. And here are our psalm sheets, and here's a previous year's worth of psalm sheets. I keep communion cards here. I keep a couple of business cards in here. Hand sanitizer, always good to have. I keep some antacid here. Sometimes I get a little acid reflux during a service, like if I've just come from dinner, and especially on Wednesday nights, I might get an upset stomach, and that helps out a lot. Okay, putting this back. Table of hymns from the Pollack book, and it gives hymn suggestions. This was like your hymn selection guide instead of that big spiral bound thing that came out with Lutheran Service book that used to be in a psychedelic cover. We're not gonna have that anymore. A couple of other pieces that I've used, stuff I played in organ studio before that I like to keep handy. Here's Luther's Te Deum. Here's Lamb of God, Pure and Holy. It's in the wrong key in the hymnal for when we do our Good Friday Chief Service. And that's about it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. So this has been your organ tour. I look forward to seeing all of yours. Bye.